Digest calls Riata one of the best buys in domestic cars. Riata by Buick. The competition pales by comparison.
Every American road belongs to Buick.
It's not just a car, it's your freedom and open ticket to ride. It's what this country's all about. A feeling deep inside that wherever you want you can go. There's a road that'll take you there. 'Cause Mr. Goodrich knows it's not just a car, it's a freedom.
Brought to you by Unocal. Since 1951, we fueled more NASCAR winners than all other gasolines combined. And we put that same high performance and winning spirit into gasolines for your car.
What you say we take her for a spin, Murph?
Richard.
People have always told me I should travel more. My fourth grade teacher, Mrs. Crowley.
Go to the principal's office, McLean.
My high school football coach.
Take 2 laps, Stevenson.
Lori, my college sweetheart.
Get lost, McLean.
Oh, well. Now Piedmont Airlines has going places prices. Really low fares to over 170 cities. Call Piedmont or your travel agent now. I think I'll visit Mrs. Crowley.
I thought I told you to go to the principal's office.
Good afternoon, basketball fans. I'm Jim Shepard, and welcome to the Assembly Hall, home of the Fighting Illini. Here are the starting lineups for today's Big Ten Conference game between the Michigan Wolverines and the University of Illinois. For Michigan at forward, a 6'7" senior from Flint, Michigan, number 41, Glenn Wright. For the Illini at forward, a 6'6" junior from Chicago, number 25, Nick Anderson. At the other forward position for the Wolverines, a 6'10" junior from Romulus, Michigan, number 52, Terry Mills. For the Illini at forward, a 6'6" senior from Aurora, Illinois, number 33, Kenny Battle. At center for Michigan, a 6'7" junior from Rosemont, Illinois, number 20, Mike Griffin. For the Illini at center, a 6'7" senior from Chicago, number 45, Lowell Hamilton. For Michigan at a guard position, a 6'2" junior from Cambridge, Massachusetts, number 21, Rumil Robinson. For the Illini at a guard spot, a 6'4" junior from Madison, Illinois, number 13, Kendall Gill. The other guard spot for the Wolverines, a 6'9" sophomore from Los Angeles, number 24, Sean Higgins. For the Illini at guard, a 6'6" junior from Carbondale, Illinois, number 35, Stephen Bardo. Michigan is coached by Bill Frieder. The Illini by Lou Henson.
We'll return after these messages from your local stations.
Oh, no matter what you do, trust that I'll be there for you. You can depend on me, yeah. Will the power of a friend, will the time and time again. You can depend on me.
New improved Kodak batteries last longer than ever. So when you need us, we'll be there.
You can depend on me.
New Kodak batteries. Depend on us to last longer.
Don't worry. At Charlie Club, you can look better, feel better, and it's easy as 1, 2, 3. Follow my unique, proven Eat and Exercise program. And join me now at one of our 6 Charlie Clubs, open 24 hours. Or try a weekend fitness retreat. So stop in for your free copy of Manage to Be Fit and see for yourself. Hurry.
Be healthy. Join Charlie Club now. Half-price membership sale ends January 20th.
The look at today's starting lineups brought to you by Buick, and the change for Michigan. Mike Griffin starting on the front line, and Coach Frieder's message to Lou Henson was, hey, tell Lou I'm starting the smaller lineup. Mike Griffin in place of Mark Hughes. And for Illinois, fighting Illini, Nick Anderson, Kenny Battle, very active. Lowell Hamilton handles the ball well around the basket. Nice cut. Kendall Gill, a skilled three-point shooter. Steve Bardo's been outstanding as a point guard.
The change for Michigan, as you take a look at the series history, the change for Michigan with Griffin gives them a little bit more quickness. And Griffin is the kind of player that acts somewhat like the glue to a team. He's very solid. He's not going to make mistakes. And I think in a ball game where you expect a lot of up-tempo play, you need some more stability in the lineup.
Phil Robinson is the Big Ten official here. Joe Tomlinson and Jerry Menz are substituting at the moment. 2 other officials are on their way, but have been held up by the inclement weather. Michigan in the dark uniforms with the tap controlled by Illinois, the home whites. This is Steve Bardo, picked up right away by Ramil Robinson.
Set the defense for you. You can see Michigan picks up in the man-to-man. That's their preferred defense. They'll play it 75% of the time.
Hamilton travels. First turnover of the ball game. How do you see the keys of today's game, the simple keys, Steve?
The real simple keys for Michigan is Ramil Robinson has to play a great ball game. He's going to be the one responsible for breaking the pressure, and more importantly, when he gets it across half court, he's either going to have to take it to the basket and score or set it back up and get his team running their half-court offense.
Coach Frieder's been concerned with his guard play. Really, they're having trouble replacing Gary Grant. Certainly, that's a big challenge for any program. Rice inside, and the Big Ten's leading scorers on the board.
Well, you see, that is Glenn Rice's biggest improvement. He's a great shooter, as good a shooter as there is in the country. His improvement this year offensively is he now can go inside and shoot that little jump hook.
Foul coming up on Michigan on Ramil Robinson, his first personal. That is the first on the team.
Probably seems like a little bit of a touch foul, knowing how physical play is normally allowed to get in this league.
Illinois on the attack, early going. Almost a minute gone by. First half, Michigan leading 2-0. Nick Anderson can hit it from there. Terry Mills up high for the board, but threw it away. Anderson, offensive.
Well, that's always the tough call anytime a player's going to the basket. The foul that was missed was the one underneath the basket. When Mills got the rebound, he gets pushed right there in the back. That's often one that you'll get away with because the official there was blocked out by Mills and couldn't see the hand in the small of the back. That's just a tough call right there.
Each team has 1 foul at this point. Good ball movement to Robinson. Glenn Rice pries it loose.
What a great rebounder he is.
Higgins. Bardo on the tap to Hamilton, and here come the Illini. Battle. Griffin up high for the rebound. Slapped away by Battle, but picked up by Rice.
Again, I think Illinois, throughout the course of the ball game, wants to make Michigan change the ends of the floor as much as possible. However, if you come down and shoot the ball too quickly, Illinois, you're going to find out that you're going to be playing defense the majority of the game.
Traveling indication made by the official. I'm wondering if it was a 5-second violation. It looked like Mike Griffin held the ball a little bit too long.
Well, again, you've seen enough games to know, Wayne, that defensive pressure doesn't always manifest itself in a steal. It creates mental pressure throughout the ball game, and you'll get unforced errors like the one we just saw.
Here's Nick Anderson. Kendall Gill off the shin of Mike Griffin. It'll belong to Illinois. Illinois yet to score. Try right there by Gill, and the ball knocked out of bounds. Going to belong to Michigan or Illinois? They're saying white ball belonged to Illinois.
Boy, I'd have to see a replay of that. That sure looked like the ball was either knocked out of Glenn Rice's hands or the Illinois rebounder grabbed his arm to prevent him from getting the rebound. Off the inbounds play, Michigan plays two types of defense. Man, 75% of the time. They will use the matchup zone 25% of the time, but they prefer not to.
Bardo on the feed to Hamilton, and Griffin is guilty of the foul. First personal on Griffin, that's the second on the team.
Well, they've done a good job on two occasions now getting the ball inside the Michigan defense. This is a simple pick and roll, but the simplest plays are good for as long as they're executed well, and Griffin just gets there a little bit late. That was a very difficult pass to catch, so Hamilton did a good job there.
Hamilton about 66% from the line. Two areas of improvement for Illinois this year. Number one, they're a much better shooting team, especially from the free throw line, and they can shoot the three-point shot.
Absolutely right. We've got two teams here that can beat you in a lot of different ways at every position. What we've seen so far in this game, probably just because of the amount of adrenaline that's flowing, we've got people who just aren't shooting the ball well yet.
Mills. Oh, the shooter's touch.
Well, you know, you can't imagine how much strength it takes to just get off a shot after you go up like that and shoot it on the way down. That's an outstanding play.
Kendall Gill. There's Hamilton, ever active in the weave.
Michigan now is playing that matchup zone, and this is what Illinois expected after talking to the coaching staff. They thought that Michigan would come out and play zone.
Kendall Gill for three, giving Illinois the lead. They shot the lights out of the three-point line the other night. Good fast break transition. Rumeal Robinson finished it off.
Wayne, that's where the balance of this game may lie. Illinois' biggest fear is Rumeal Robinson getting the ball in the middle of the court after Michigan breaks defensive pressure, because he's the kind of guy who can either take it to the lane and make the play or score it himself.
Score it for Nick Anderson. And a foul. On Glenn Rice, it's his first, the third on the team.
Well, this is just pure athletic ability. If you watch Anderson play, his preferences are to get the ball in the wing, either drive it to the lane or drive it baseline and just jump over people. And there isn't anybody in the country who he can't jump over and get a shot off against. You know, it's great to have players who can create offense like that, because it takes pressure off of your offensive unit and your play execution when you just go out and get a basket with a one-on-one move.
Illinois with the lead. This is Robinson of Michigan. Higgins.
He got fouled.
Yep, he got held. Nick Anderson, the guilty party. On Anderson, his second personal already for the leading scorer and rebounder of the Fighting Illini. There's Lou Henson.
Wayne, anybody who's watched Illinois basketball this year recognizes what they do defensively. They have such great athletes. They can defend. All of their athletes can defend any position on the floor, and they'll switch the entire ball game defensively.
Phil Robinson says score that field goal by Rumeal Robinson. He's got a foul down low against Illinois. Lowell Hamilton, I believe.
Well, Michigan will get this ball back then and get an opportunity. They'll get another possession.
Hamilton picks up his first personal foul. That is the third on the team. We'll be back after these commercial messages.
Football fans, get ready for the battle of the century as unbeaten Budweiser takes on undefeated Bud Light. It's Bud versus Bud Light in Bud Bowl 1.
Pick up your official scorecard wherever you see this display.
Hey, Bud, super idea. You see the neck on that guy?
Use it to follow the action and you could win. So get ready, get set. On January 22nd, Bud Bowl 1. This time, it's for real.
You hear the thunder, thunder. The call of the road. You feel excitement. Get on your Pontiac and ride. Pontiac ride.
It's quick and to the point. It's about power and performance. A hot ride with hot new looks. The dramatic new Grand Am.
Rebuild excitement. Wherever you want
you could go. There's a road that'll take you there. 'Cause Mr. Goodrich knows it's not just a car, it's your freedom.
You know, it was great growing up on our ranch in Oklahoma. And now when I walk into a New York City restaurant and order up a little bitty Kansas City strip, makes me feel right at home. I've got a taste for some real food.
There's the Michigan bench. Coach Bill Frieder, his team tied up with the Fighting Illini. Michigan shooting 66.7% from the field. They get the ball out of bounds with a foul prior to the timeout. The regular officials are here. Just made it in through the inclement weather outside of the Champaign area. Ramil Robinson at the point.
Again, now watch the defense on Illinois' part. They will not expend energy trying to fight over and through picks. They simply switch players on every pick.
They're calling it tight. Hamilton called for a foul there. His second personal. That is the third on the team, or that fourth on the team.
Well, you know, it'll be interesting to see. It's the first game I've ever done where officials were late for a ball game. It'll be interesting to see how they adapt to the play now, to see if they're going to blow a quick whistle or if they're going to it's going to take them 3 or 4 minutes to get into the flow of the game themselves.
Bill Robinson was here from the outset. The other two just arrived. Higgins leaves it short. Rice is there to clean up. Mills.
Well, since Bill Frieder's been at Michigan, you know, he's had big, strong ball clubs, and this is probably the area where he has beat teams consistently over the last few years. They can absolutely dominate you inside, particularly on the offensive board.
From the outside, Gill. Rice the rebound. Ramil Robinson on the drive to Griffin. Blocked by Kendall Gill.
Boy, that is a spectacular defensive play because Michigan came down with a 3-on-2 break, looking to go on top, and they just turned it right around.
Ramil Robinson picks up. Is it Robinson or Griffin who picked up the foul?
I thought it was Ramil Robinson.
It is Robinson.
And again, that call there is, you know, you have to get used to how the whistle's going to blow. All Ramil was doing was riding his man. He had his hand on the back and hand checking, and they've called that twice on him now.
Battle.
And that's where Illinois hurts you. They catch the ball, they jump right over the top of you, and then it's just a matter of whether or not they're making the shots today.
Ramil Robinson, Terry Mills struggling across the line. Higgins. Rice.
Boy, Glenn Rice is making a living today off the boards already. He's got 4 or 5 rebounds here in the first 6 minutes of the ball game.
Bardo penetrates. Nicely done to Small.
Michigan prefers to play the man-to-man defense. They don't feel like they can win a ball game if they have to play the matchup zone on a consistent basis.
Ramil Robinson drew that foul on Kendall Gill, his first, already the 5th on Illinois.
Wayne, Michigan's biggest question mark coming into this season, we all know that Illinois was concerned about outside shooting in the past. Their biggest question mark this year was how well Ramil Robinson would play with no other experienced backcourt mate. And in my opinion, he set the tone for this year in last season's North Carolina game in the NCAA tournament when Gary Grant had a terrible game and Ramil Robinson really kept Michigan in that ball game. And you know, now people are starting to talk about Ramil Robinson when they start talking about the best point guards in the country.
Bill Frieder says he'd like to have another guard to go alongside of Ramil Robinson. He has people playing out of position in that 2-guard slot.
Well, that might be the case, but if you can, when they get to the point where Higgins is a quality big guard, it's nice to have a 6'9" guard in the backcourt.
They had one in East Lansing, and they went all the way. Battle. His second from the field. He has 4.
Well,
Bardo tips it out of play.
You know, for most of us, we sit here and we watch Illinois play, and we just think, gosh, I wish I had the athletic ability these guys had. Boy, what I would do on the floor. And they are really exceptional.
Robinson clears from the pressure. Lou Henson mentioned that his team has to do a lot of things well to win ball games. They have to beat teams in other ways than with size and physical prowess. Like that. Quickness, steals. Bardo to Gill on Griffin.
Something tells me that by the end of this ball game, we're going to have a season's worth of a highlight film. There are people making great plays.
Griffin, and Harry Mills is called for a foul, pushing off inside. His first personal, now 5 team fouls on Michigan.
Wayne, the one thing you cannot do offensively as a point guard, you can never pick up your dribble when you have no one to pass it to, particularly against Illinois, because as a team they have such quick hands defensively that they'll strip it from you. And anytime you get to the point guard loses the ball, obviously, it sets up the fast break on the other end.
Mark Hughes in the lineup now in place of Griffin for Michigan. Kurt Taylor is also in the ball game, replacing, I believe, Sean Higgins.
And Lloyd Vaught in the
middle for Mills.
Now, Mills asked to be taken out. He may be a little winded. And what will happen in a big game like this sometimes, if the adrenaline's flowing a little too much, you'll hyperventilate a little bit and run yourself out.
That's traveling on Glenn Rice. Bill Frieder is furious. He wanted a foul call. He felt Rice was bumped on the play. Talking with the official Tom Rucker, Sam Licklider is also here along with Phil Robinson, the officials from the Big Ten Conference.
Well, this is the kind of game that'll bring out the emotion and the most mellow of personalities. Here's the play. Very difficult. Obviously, I think Coach Frieder wanted a foul there. Very difficult to see from our angle.
Technical foul called on Michigan. Kendall Gill at the free throw line. Two-shot foul on the bench. Technical on the bench.
Well, Frieder hasn't stopped yet. I guess if you're going to get a technical in this kind of ball game, you get it early and get it over with. You don't want one down the stretch where it could really turn the momentum.
Illinois leads by 4. This is Bardo, Kendall Gill.
Boy.
Kenny Battle.
Oh! Boy, now that is something. That is something right there.
Kenny Battle, whose dream is to do the 360 tomahawk slam, and almost did one the other night here against Wisconsin. Robinson breaks it across for Michigan.
Well, Illinois continues to beat Michigan in the middle of that matchup zone. And if they don't cut that pass off, Illinois will score at will.
Robinson off the mark. Kendall Gill with a long rebound. This is Nick Anderson to Gill. Lloyd fought the rebound. Rice for 3.
Nobody does that better in the country than Glenn Rice. Catch it and shoot it. And you know, there are very few players who can do that anymore. Most guys are going to want to put it on the floor, gather themselves before they go up.
11:40 left to go, first half. 3-point try, Anderson.
Wayne, both of these ball clubs are capable of a scoring outburst. They can be very, very streaky. Some people feel like it's going to be the team that has the most streaks, or maybe the team that has the streak last who's going to win the ball game.
Taylor off the mark. The foul occurred before the tap-in by Rice. And it'll belong to Illinois.
Well, Kurt Taylor made a good move to the basket. The one thing that most college guards never learn, and I don't know why, is once you get dribble penetration, you've got to stop and shoot the jumper.
11:13 left to be played, first half. We'll return after these messages from your local stations.
Now, the new Spirit shows at your Dodge dealer. Come in and take a look at our quality imports. some with big cashback savings. See the all-new Dodge Colt GT with an unavailable turbo engine, or see our sporty Ram 50 pickup in 2- or 4-wheel drive, or rugged Dodge Raider. And now get up to $1,000 cash back on select imports in stock. See your Dodge dealer now where the new Spirit shows.
A lot of places promise you reliable brake repairs, but nobody beats Midas. Mrs. Purvis took no chances. She came to Midas for the same reason a million others did. Because Midas guarantees your brake shoes and pads for as long as you own your car. And the people who work on your brakes are trained brake experts, not amateurs. Don't take chances with your brakes. Come to Midas. Because nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
So there's Richie, my twin brother, taking my place at the game. I was cramming for finals, and he only had to warm the bench, like I do. No one can tell us apart.
Oh, you guys, I can always tell just by the sound of your voice.
The color in a voice.
Yeah, but the coach couldn't tell.
The texture of a phrase.
He can now.
That's the uncompromising sound clarity of AT&T. We take you right there and keep you this close.
Wayne Larrivee and Steve Grody back at Assembly Hall, home of the Fighting Illini of Illinois. That foul on Kirk Taylor a moment ago prior to the timeout. 16 fouls now in Michigan. We still have better than 11 minutes to go, and this is small.
Wayne, I was just going to say, through the first 9 minutes of the game, if I had to recap where the game's being won and lost, it's been Illinois' ability to penetrate the Michigan zone defense right down the lane. That's where they're scoring their most points. And also when they get it inside, they've been able to hit it back out and shoot the three-point field goal.
Away from the ball, Lloyd Vaught, who just scored at the other end, picks up a foul. His first. Team is over the limit with 10:46 to go in the half.
Well, Lloyd Vaught has been the player that's really hurt Illinois over the past couple of years. He got 24 points and close to 10 rebounds in the game down here last season. And there's no in-between with Lloyd. He's either going to be great or be terrible, and you'll usually know within the first 3 or 4 minutes what he's going to do. Got a quick layup, so maybe he's off to a quick start.
Kenny Battle at the free throw line. He has 6 points on 3 from the field, some of which have been spectacular. Misses the free throw. Liberty, Marcus Liberty knocked it out of play, and last touch by Michigan. Liberty kept it alive.
Well, you don't always, when you're rebounding, if you can't grab it, you always want to try to get a hand on it and keep the ball alive.
This is Kenny Battle. Pardo for 3.
Other than the layups, I think Illinois has attempted more three-point field goals than two-point field goals, and boy, who'd have thought that would have ever happened after the troubles they had shooting the ball last year on occasion.
That was unthinkable last year. Lloyd Vaught out high. Hughes to Rice. Good give and go. Hughes with the open pop. Vaught.
At one time during the season, and this is an unbelievable statistic, Lloyd Vaught was averaging a shot per minute played. Obviously, if you play the whole game, that's 40 shot attempts. What that means is that he's extremely active around the basket. He's getting offensive rebounds. He's active. He's getting position inside and creating opportunities for himself.
Marcus Liberty, and the slam by Battle.
Oh. I'm telling you, we're going to have a season's worth of plays to put on the highlight film in this ball game alone.
This is Robinson. The steal by Battle.
Boy, wouldn't you love to have him on your team?
Lou Henson calls Kenny Battle the hardest worker he's ever had. Foul here on Battle, a little too tight on defense. That's personal foul number 1, 6 on the team.
All right, here's a chance to take a look at that Illinois full court pressure. They line up in a diamond set, but they're really playing man-to-man defense. They will always press the very first, they'll double team the first pass. Now, if you break that pressure and bring it down the middle of the floor like Taylor's doing now, they'll fall back. You know, they're very disciplined. They only look for traps in a couple different spots on the floor.
Rice for three. Hughes up high on the rebound, and he's called for the foul. Mark Hughes' first personal foul. Team is over the limit. We'll be going to the line.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, when the new officials came in, I don't think that the two officials that were late have blown the whistle yet, have they? It seems to me.
Yes, there have been one or two calls.
One or two.
Yeah. Kenny Battle leads the lineup. They're making his entrance into the ball game is Irvin Small.
You know, I commend them for the job they're doing, because it's very difficult to run in to a game like this, coming in late in a quick-paced game, and get yourself into the flow of the action.
Well, they've been in now for a number of minutes, and you're right, they haven't jumped on the whistles. Larry Smith makes good on a pair at the line. Terry Mills moves it across.
Once again, see, when Michigan gets the ball in the middle and they run it right down the middle of the floor, there will not be a double team off the defensive pressure.
Anderson's got a 2-on-1 with Smith. No. Traveling.
Well, that's just unfortunate. Nobody's fault, really. When the pass was made by Anderson, he fumbled it just slightly. As a result, it hit Smith on his left hip instead of out in front, and he just couldn't come up with possession.
Mike Griffin back into the ball game for Michigan. Wolverines with 8:35 to go on the attack, trailing by 10. Mills needs help. That time a foul on the defense. Irvin Small reaching in, his first personal foul. Now the team is over the limit, both sides over the limit.
But you know, you don't mind a foul like that, because again, that's the way they want their players to play defensively. Overplay, lots of pressure, and it looks to me right now, Wayne, like Illinois probably has about 10 points off turnovers in this ball game. Now, here's the second place they'll trap. Now, this came a little too soon. They would normally want the offensive player to get over the half-court mark and then trap him in that corner.
Essentially put him in the box with the sideline and the midcourt stripe.
Exactly.
Vaught, junior out of Grand Rapids, just 7 points against Minnesota, 3 of 5 shooting from the field the other night, 18 points, 11 rebounds in the previous game against Northwestern. Makes good on a pair here, and he's off quickly, Steve. He has 6 points.
I don't know if the fans can hear the give and take between the officials and the players from the microphone on the camera, but I always enjoy that in a tough ball game. It's an ongoing conversation, and it's funny to me. Come on now, stop holding, stop pushing, and because it's real intense play out there.
Sean Higgins on the attack, Terry Mills on the wing. Higgins, good look to Rice. Had it blocked from behind, it appeared. Small to Gill. Kendall Gill threw it right underneath Kenny Battle.
Yeah. Again, missed opportunity in a 2-on-1 situation. Great call by Roger Rucker, because it looked like Griffin touched that ball at first.
7:57 left to go. Back after these commercial messages.
Piedmont Airlines Going Places prices have a lot of people going to a lot of places. Going Places prices won't last long, so call Piedmont Airlines or your travel agent right away. On your mark, get set, go places.
This is my new Buick Skylark. And since it's a Buick, it doesn't surprise me that the Skylark is very stylish. With room for 5, and it's smooth and powerful. What did surprise me, though, is that Buick's little limousine is priced less than a Honda Accord DX. So, I got a little limousine for the price of a little car. The great American road belongs to Buick.
8-point lead for Illinois, but really really, they're losing the battle of the board, Steve, and I think that certainly underlines how they can beat you in so many different ways, the Illini.
Well, they really can. They can beat you with defense in terms of field goal percentage. You know, because they're getting dominated on the boards, 13-7. But, you know, today they're winning this ball game with defensive pressure and converting that into points on the offensive end.
Shooting percentage around 55%, as we displayed for you. This is Michigan on the attack.
But, you know, you look at Illinois, and there are two other Big Ten games. You know, they held Michigan State to 40% field goal percentage. They out-rebounded Wisconsin by 13 boards, so they can just hurt you in so many different ways.
Illini leading by 8, 7.5 minutes to go, first half.
You know, I really believe Michigan, and it looks like they're going straight man now for the first time. They've got to get away from that matchup zone. It just isn't working.
Griffin comes down with it for Michigan. This is Higgins, came off a 3-game suspension with a fine performance the other night against Minnesota. Ran out of real estate right there. Portions of today's game are brought to you by Ameritech. Ameritech, solutions that work. Wayne Larrivee and Steve Grote at Assembly Hall in Champaign. Back into the lineup, Pramil Robinson in the backcourt for Bill Frieder's Michigan Wolverines.
And I'll tell you what, in for Glenn Rice, and those are the two guys on the Michigan team. They'll get a rest, but it won't be a long one. They need both those guys on the floor.
Irvin Small with the look inside of Liberty. The pass off the mark hit the backboard.
Boy, I'll tell you, you know, Illinois is going to look back at this first half when they see the film, and they've played very well, but boy, they have blown 3 or 4 chances to get an easy basket. That pass there would have been a layup had it not hit the rim.
Griffin on the look inside of Buck.
Boy, not a bad luxury for Michigan having their third leading scorer coming off the bench in Loy Buck.
Battle. Got a rebound coming up. I believe it's
going to be on Higgins.
Yeah, it's on Higgins, I believe.
Again, that's a great call because Higgins snuck a quick hand to the chest and forecheck Small, and, you know, in fighting for rebound position.
The officials making sure they have control of this game.
Right there.
There it is. Small makes good on his first 11-other.
You know, it's fine. Anytime you're in a ball game, I think sometimes you test the officials. You see what you can get away with. And usually those things happen when the ball's in the air and people are fighting for rebound position.
Liberty leaves the lineup. Anderson back in. Loy Vaught leaves in place of Glenn Rice for Michigan. There's Marcus Liberty. Coming along in this his first year in the Illini program. Sat out last year due to Proposition 48. Great talent. Small misses the second. Anderson is there. Higgins up high, and we've got a foul underneath.
Well, and Bill Frieder's finally going to get satisfaction. That's been his chief complaint in this ball game. He thinks Illinois has been over Michigan's back, and he'll finally get a call.
Foul is on Irvin Small, his second personal. There's the record of Frieder at Michigan. Has never won, though, as a head coach in this building, and he brought 2 Big Ten champions through here in the mid-'80s.
Well, it's funny, you know, as good as his record, in fact, both of these coaches, as good as their records have been, you know, for whatever reason, you don't hear their names mentioned when people talk about the great coaches in the Big Ten, and I think their records speak for themselves. I know Illinois has been a Sweet 16 team in the NCAA tournament for 5 solid years, and of course, under Frieder, Michigan had back-to-back Big Ten championships.
Higgins makes good on a pair. Michigan has cut the gap to 5 with a little over 6 minutes to go in the half. Battle on Rice, offensive. Kenny Battle's second personal.
Well, that's a big call. I'm going to have to see the replay to make a decision on this one myself. We didn't have the angle. But Glenn Rice looks like he's got good position, and I don't think... See, here's what... You can always tell if a player's faking a charge, because if somebody really runs you over, you fall right back. If they fake the charge, you'll see motion from the waist up because they're faking, so they move their shoulders back. And it looked to me like Glenn used a little acting job there.
Michigan resumes. Higgins for three. Second three-pointer of the game for the Wolverines, and they are suddenly back to within two.
Well, it's going to be a game of streaks, and Michigan's got one going right here, and they're back in it. But see, in Higgins and Rice, you've got two players, again, who can do what very few players can do, go straight up and shoot a jump shot without putting it on the floor.
Persistence by Irvin Small. He tries it again, and Rumeal Robinson finally clears. Michigan can tie with a conventional field goal.
Again, Rumeal picked his dribble up.
Timeout Michigan before the 5-second violation.
Just barely before.
Yep. 4:56 left to be played, first half. It's tightened up here in Champaign. We'll return after these messages from your local stations.
Is Steve Dill on the verge of starting his own TV ministry? What four-way romance turned Gary Meyer's name to mud on the set of TV's Facts of Life?
I want to know.
Did Kevin Matthews start Arangate with a prank call to Oliver North?
Hello, Ollie. I need a favor.
Also, Carrie Cochran searched for Intelligent Life on other AM stations.
I couldn't find any.
How many regulation-size NBA basketballs can Chet Kopic fit in his mouth? How many calories in a pickle? What's the meaning of life?
I want to know.
Look to your AM dial, inspiring minds on AM 1000.
Every winter, it's the stopping, it's the stalling, it's the crawling, or it's Metra. When it snows, we rain.
Take your pick. Athletic shoes for women, children, and men. All $10.99 to $12.99, $9.99. All $13.99 to $15.99, $11.99. Pickway shoes now.
Tonight, join us for 19 hours of non-stop entertainment to help fight cerebral palsy. Starathon 89 starts tonight at 10:45.
Join us.
Accommodations arranged through Hilton. Come sample our classic American hospitality at any of nearly 300 locations across the U.S. For reservations, call 1-800-HILTONS. Wayne Larrivee and Steve Grody. Michigan is on a run. Steve mentioned this would be a game of streaks, and right now Michigan is in one. They resume offensively.
Well, the streak really started when Rumeal Robinson came back in the ball game. I just think from a confidence level and team continuity in all phases of the game, they need him in the lineup.
Griffin trying to force it inside. Nick Anderson to Kendall Gill. Bardo. Liberty open at the baseline. Robinson trying to answer.
Oh. Boy, I'll tell you, that is a big-time move right there. Quickness, speed, and strength. Taking the ball to the hole.
Pass denied by Rice. Marcus Liberty out high. Kenny Battle.
Kenny held the ball there just a little too long. When you hold the ball that long, the rest of your offensive players just stand around and nothing happens.
Kendall Gill made it work. Illinois' lead again is 4 with 3:50 to go in the half.
Yeah, Gill remedied that situation, didn't he? Just give it to me, I'll shoot it.
Terry Mills didn't handle it. Off the turnover. Illinois, chance for a 6-point lead. There's Lou Henson patrolling the sidelines for the Illini.
You know, and the Michigan coaching staff's just going to ask, why is Rumeal Robinson not bringing the ball up the floor? You know, Robinson's a guy you want to try and wear down during the ball game, but he's a great athlete, tremendously strong, but he's huffing and puffing out there right now.
Kenny Battle. Nicely done at the baseline. Kendall Gill. Gill has 11 points.
Kirk Taylor brings it up this time. And Kirk Taylor's a player who's just now beginning to learn how to play the point. In high school, he was a great player, but he really played the small forward position.
Rice. That's what Bill Frieder said. He said Taylor's really a small forward type, and we're trying to convert him to guard. Bardo off the glass for 2 and a foul on Taylor. Yes, it counts. Second personal on Kirk Taylor.
It's, you know, when you talk about each of these individual players, it sounds, if you don't know their names, you use the same description about all of them. I mean, they're just such great individual talents, and that's all that was. You know, in a situation where you've got defense right on top of you, it's difficult to maintain the balance needed to shoot a good shot. And Bartow that time just rose right above Taylor and shot a great bank shot.
Irvin Small in the lineup in place of Kenny Battle for Illinois. Steve Bartow trying to complete a three-point play. Much better as a team from the free throw line, shooting 71, almost 72% from the foul line are the Illini.
Well, and Illinois now has answered the run by Michigan.
Glenn Rice quells the momentum for a moment.
You know, when he goes up to shoot it, I mean, it just looks like he's going to make it every time, doesn't he?
He looks taller, lankier than 6'7".
Well, he's bulked up a little bit this year, so he's improved his strength.
Liberty on the drive. The people here at Illinois, people in the Chicago public school system and the Chicago high school basketball will tell you that Marcus Liberty is going to be a better player than Nick Anderson, and that says a lot. Michigan back live. Rice ahead of the field on the slam.
Well, that's going to happen occasionally, and then just give Michigan credit for recognizing it.
Illinois by 5. 2:20 left to go in the first half. Anderson. Gill. Lloyd Vaught clears the board for Michigan. Ramil Robinson at a foot on the three-point line. Griffin, good look, Vaught. Fine ball movement by the Wolverines. Vaught now has 10 points.
You know, for people seeing Vaught play for the first time, you're saying to yourself, how can this guy not start? I mean,
from the outside, Anderson off the mark. Rebound taken by Robinson. He's tied up by Marcus Liberty. The foul on Liberty is his first. The reason he doesn't start, Bill Frieder said, I started him out in Utah, and he had his worst game ever. He's more comfortable, apparently, according to Coach Frieder, coming off the bench.
Oh, yeah, and you don't, the coaching staff knows best. And again, you're right. There are just some players that are like that, and there's no reason to break that type of momentum.
8 points now for Ramil Robinson, 3 from the field, 2 of 2 at the foul line. Junior out of Cambridge, Mass. Gringe in Latin High School. I believe that's the same high school that produced Patrick Ewing, if I'm not mistaken. Second upcoming for Robinson.
Well, Michigan goes on a 9-1 run, gets back in it. Illinois answers back, widens the lead to 7. This free throw makes it another 1-point game. Oh!
Lloyd Vaught keeps it alive. It's a tie game. Under 2 minutes to go. Coming up on a minute 30 left in the half. Liberty. Nick Anderson. Kendall Gill lost it for a moment. The kind of quickness that's on the floor, you have to take care of the basketball.
Well, and again, it seems like all the players have caught a second win right now. I'd say the last 4 or 5 minutes, the intensity, as great as it's been the entire game, it's even picked up a notch right now.
10 to go on the shot clock. They'll have to create something with 5 to go. Kendall Gill, and it'll belong to Michigan.
Again, Michigan playing so much better now that they've gone man-to-man defense, gotten away from that matchup zone.
Under a minute to go. Time left, lower right-hand corner of your screen. Michigan looking for the halftime lead.
Rumil picked up his dribble again.
Griffin, good look to Vaught. He was bumped by Small, wasn't he?
Yep. You know, that's fatigue factor. Again, Ramil Robinson is now being mentioned along with all the top point guards in the country. But again, the defensive pressure wears you out mentally, and you can lose your concentration a little bit. And I think that's why he's been guilty of picking the ball up on 4 or 5 different occasions.
Kirk Taylor comes in, and Ramil Robinson leaves the lineup. Lloyd Vaught at the free throw line. clarifying a signal given to the table. I will say one thing, the officials have been somewhat sloppy on their signaling to the table. There have been a couple of occasions where the scores table has had to wait and ask again who the foul is on. Irvin Small leaves the lineup. Can he battle back in? Lloyd Vaught at the free throw line has 12 points. Michigan and Illinois tied at 43. 37 seconds left to go in the first half. Another change for Michigan. Hughes reports on, replacing Sean Higgins.
Well, Frieder's doing a good job here. He's getting all those people out of the game that have 2 fouls on them, and that's the proper move to make.
Robinson has 2 fouls. Taylor has 2 fouls. Now 3 of 3 at the foul line. Excellent free throw shooter, 78%.
Well, this, Vaught, he's a senior, and I really feel like he's got a chance to maybe have an NBA career, even as a player who doesn't start in college.
1 point lead for Michigan. Illinois, no shot clock now, 30 seconds to go. A chance to grab the halftime lead. They'd led by what, as many as 7, Steve, this first half?
We've got exactly what we thought we'd have and what we'd hoped we'd have.
Exactly, as advertised, this one.
Great ball game.
Time winding down. This is Bardo. Kendall Gill over Taylor. Griffin to Taylor, lost it out of play. Still 2 seconds to go.
This isn't disastrous, but this would be really a big momentum change if Illinois happens to get another basket here.
2 seconds to go. Glenn Rice defending on the inbounds. Bardo to Gill for 3. Yes!
Oh, that is so big.
Today's game is being brought to you by Pontiac. We build excitement. By the owners of Days Inns, Hotels, and Suites in the Big Ten.
The Old Canada Show.
Diagnostic checkup. Fact is, half of the cars serviced by AMCO dealers don't need a new transmission. Now, how does that sound?
AMCO, AA-MCO.
AMCO Transmission Centers honor most new and used car extended service contracts. Take your car to AMCO for your service contract work. See the AMCO Transmission Center in your area.
No matter what you do, baby, I'll be there for you. You can depend on me, yeah. There's no need for you to cry, 'cause I'll be right there by your side.
Rest assured, because Kodak Ultralife lithium batteries last twice as long as any other battery.
You can depend on me.
Kodak Ultralife. Depend on us to last twice as long for less than twice the price.
Your local Ford dealer wants to set the record straight. Others say they're better, but here are the facts. We've got the #1 selling cars and trucks. Nobody else can say that. Nobody. Why? Simple. Quality people, quality products, straight talk, and real value. Like low 6.9% financing on Ford Taurus. Plus, right now, get $500 cash back and save up to $700 in options. That's right. Get 6.9 financing and $500 cash back on Taurus. But don't wait. It all ends soon.
The future is now at the University of Michigan. A worldwide leader in education and research, we've been a prime mover in attracting major national centers for manufacturing science, space robotics, and computer communications to Michigan. As a full partner with the state in creating the fastest growing high-tech corridor in the country, the university is developing people and ideas to generate new investments, new jobs, and economic growth. As citizens, educators, and students, we know that in Michigan, the future is now.
At what university can you see world-class athletes in action? Enjoy live performances by internationally renowned musicians or productions in one of the finest performing arts centers in the world. Where can you sign on computers in classrooms, libraries, laboratories, even residence halls, or draw knowledge from the nation's largest public university library?
Halftime at Assembly Hall in Champaign, Illinois. Michigan trailing Illinois 48-44. You know, so often in college basketball, Steve Grody, it seems like these great game build-ups often come to the fore. This sport, more than any other, the Final Four always lives up to its billing in this game here today. Much talked about both Michigan and Illinois. One of the toughest tickets to get in Illinois is to this game today, and it certainly has lived up to billing.
Well, you know, the question about Michigan, of course, is they haven't played many tough opponents, and you wondered what their mental preparation level was going to be coming into a game where they have to be ready to play or they get flown out. Both teams are ready, and we've got what we hoped we'd have.
You mentioned it several times, and that is the quickness factor, the defensive pressure. It can wear on a team, and I think Michigan was streaky in the first half, as we expected, but I think in the end, maybe some of that pressure wore them down a little bit.
It did wear them down a little bit, but they answered that challenge pretty well. Again, it could very well be that the team that has the last streak wins the ball game. I thought the single most important point of the first half was Michigan finally went out of that matchup zone defense, went man-to-man, and that's what evened the ball game back up.
All right. Again at halftime, Michigan trailing Illinois by 4. We're coming up with head coach and athletic director John Mackovic of the Fighting Illini football team, and we'll be back with that and more halftime activities after these words.
The Clydesdales, the symbol of Budweiser quality, of Beechwood aging, the choicest natural ingredients, and a genuine commitment to freshness and taste. One beer lives up to all this. Budweiser.
You're looking sharp, you're looking good, you've come so far, and we know how to make the most of who you are. Father to son, it's what we've always done. Gillette.
The Gillette Atra Plus system with the
All wants a half-court contest. They're going to slow it down, try to let their big people take advantage inside.
Slowing down Loyola will be a job in itself. You'll see what we mean. The 8-5 Loyola Marymount Lions, the 9-7 DePaul.
In all parts of this great country of ours. Presenting Piedmont Airlines Going Places prices. Really low fares to over 170 cities. Call Piedmont or your travel agent now. Before Going Places prices are going, gone.
I ate a lot of stuff because it was chic. I mean, I ate raw fish because it was chic. But steaks and burgers, they make me happy. And I like being happy.
I got a taste for some real food.
Some guys look at this, they see just another brake job. Just another brake job? Not to the guy who drives this car. Not to me either.
Mr. Goodrich knows it's not just a car, it's your freedom.
The Big Ten Conference,
For almost 100 years, the Big Ten has stood for academic progress, excellence, and athletic achievement. From its classrooms and research laboratories to the arenas of athletic competition, the Big Ten's reputation is unmatched. Student enrollments of more than 300,000, a living alumni base exceeding 2 million, and a concerned faculty dedicated to improving the quality of life for all people help make Big Ten universities and their graduates leaders around the world.
Back at Assembly Hall at halftime, this is the Dave McClain Memorial Big Ten Coach of the Year trophy, and it is awarded this year to John Mackovic. They had
your head or whatever it's on.
They puts the Wolfpack up 39-25.
Your time has come.
Wake Forest, and I think fans in this part of the country would like you.
Hot there towards the end of the first half and started hitting a couple jump shots. generally speaking, though, a team that shoots the easier shots throughout the ball game is going to come out on top.
3-point scoring. Michigan 2 out of 5. Illinois 3 of 9. That certainly is down percentage-wise from what they did the other night to Wisconsin. Rebounding edge belongs to Michigan, and the turnovers, Michigan 9, Illinois 6. And you mentioned on a couple of occasions that Illinois can beat you in so many different ways, not just one category. You've got to win more than one category to survive the Fighting Illini. The Illinois Ball Club leads Michigan 48-44 at halftime. Let's take a look around the country at some of the other scores on the Budweiser scoreboard. Purdue and Wisconsin in the Big Ten coming up a little bit later on, along with Iowa and Minnesota.
Not a bad win for Iowa in the Big Ten at North Carolina, was it?
Not at all. Ohio State will have a tough one with Michigan State. Much improved Spartans. We saw them the other night. Indiana playing host to Northwestern. Bobby Knight going for what, his 500th coaching victory, I believe.
Right.
South Carolina leading Cincinnati 30-27 in the first half. And some big games coming up later. And that is a look at the Budweiser scoreboard. And we will be back to Assembly Hall in Champaign after these commercial messages.
Some guys look at this, they see just another brake job. But when you're Mr. Goodwrench, you learn real quick that behind this car, there's a somebody who depends on these wheels. Keeping this car running right's important to them. That's why they brought it back here, to this GM dealership. Just another brake job, not to the guy who drives this car. Not to me either.
Mr. Goodwrench knows it's not just a car, it's a freedom.
When one of the world's big banks needed a voice and data system, they looked at the bottom line and chose Ameritech, the information company that could custom design a system linking 50 locations today, hundreds tomorrow. A flexible system that saved space, saved staff, and saved money. When your bank won, your communication system must make sense. Dollars and cents. Ameritech. Solutions that work.
Hey, we talk about playground legends. You gotta bring up a guy named Lamar Mundane. I seen him just rain jump shots on people. 4, 5, 6 shots in a row. People just started calling me Money. Because when he shot, it was money in the bank. He come down and shoot a 15-footer, everybody on the side be hollering, lay up. Slam dunks are tough. But when a 35-footer come raining out the sky, it'll wire you up.
When the new legends are made, they'll be wearing Reeboks.
Today's Big Ten game is being brought to you by Ford and your local Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Ameritech. Ameritech. Solutions that work. And by Gillette and the Gillette Entra Plus shaving system. Gillette, the best a man can get. Now it's time for the keys to the game, brought to you by Ford.
Well, again, when we started the broadcast, we felt like Michigan had to handle the defensive pressure. Control Nick Anderson, who has hurt them on many occasions, and they've done that, and control the boards, and they've been successful in that area. On the other side, for Illinois, run, run, run. It simply means pressure, pressure, pressure the whole game, defensively, full court, half court, and offensive pressure on the other end. Prevent the three-point field goal. Done a good job of that, and they played pretty decent team defense inside. So when you put the 6 together, the difference in the game is that Michigan has not handled the defensive pressure.
Individual scoring in the ball game. Some of the scoring leaders for this afternoon's game. For the Fighting Illini, Kendall Gill, 16 points. He also has 3 rebounds. There's Battle with a couple of impressive slams. Anderson Liberty off the bench for 4.
Now let's take a look.
What's the final shot of this half?
And I really thought Michigan made a mistake here. Now, here was a time where they should have gone back into the zone defense, because that'll force a pass to the perimeter where you can go out and attack the shooter immediately. They lost their men there.
Rice leading the way along with Loy Vaught off the bench, 13 points. Certainly he helped supplement the Michigan comeback. And watch Rice in action right here, Big Ten's leading scorer.
Well, he's just, you know, the best small forward in the country. I don't know what else you can say about him, but this is what he does best. Just rises right in your face and shoots a jumper.
Ready for the start of the second half. Illinois leading Michigan by 4. It'll be Michigan basketball. Mills on the inbounds to Higgins. Griffin.
Well, nothing will change for Illinois. They're going to come out, play that good, tough man-to-man, and we'll see if they can capitalize on the great end of the first half.
Higgins over the back with a three-point try. It'll belong to Illinois.
Well, but probably not a good shot on your first possession of the second half. I think they'd probably like to have that one back.
This is Bardo. Kenny Battle.
Now, for people who have watched Michigan play over the years, the other thing you'll notice is that Glenn Rice has improved defensively also. And they say, you know, he's better at putting the ball on the floor now and taking to the basket offensively. And now that he does that, he understands how to defend that type of a move.
Bardo off the mark. Hamilton fighting for the rebound. Knocked out of bounds. It'll belong to Michigan. Kenny Battle on the floor.
There are no boys on the floor. It's all men around the basket. This is Big Ten basketball right here. It's just rough and physical inside.
Kenny Battle's going to need 2 aspirin tomorrow.
Oh.
Higgins to Mills. Bardo trying to pry loose the rebound. Michigan gets it back.
Well, they missed Griffin that time. He was wide open in the middle. Possibly could have taken it to the basket for a layup.
One thing about Illinois, Steve, and it's something that really they have to do because they don't have the huge people inside. Everybody will go to the boards. Guards, forwards, small forwards, shooting guards, everybody goes to the boards. That turnover gives it back to the Fighting Illini.
Well, again, and you saw what Glenn Rice can do now this year. He will fake. If the defense runs at him to stop that jump shot, he'll fake, put it on the floor, and really made a great play when he drew the defense.
Kendall Gill. Nick Anderson on the drive. Oh, missed the slam, but it got a foul.
Well, they're going to call a foul on Glenn Rice moving under, and it's probably a good call. I think Glenn moved under at the last second to try and bother the offensive player in hopes that it wasn't significant enough to get the whistle, but good call.
Second on Glenn Rice. That's the first on the team here in the second half, and Nick Anderson at the free throw line. What a player he's developed into for this program. Had just 6 points in the first half. They'd like to see him get more involved in the scoring aspect of the game in the second half for sure. 7 points for Anderson. Illinois leading by 5. Opening 3 minutes of play, second half.
Now, if Higgins can do that, bring the ball up the floor a few times, and give Rumeal Robinson a break, as we enter the last 5-6 minutes, it's going to be important.
Lou Henson looking on anxiously from the Illinois sidelines. Higgins for 3. Kendall Gill kept that alive.
Well, and there you saw the explosive strength, and I don't know who it was that went up, but Griffin had his hand on the ball, was ready to take the rebound, and they just stripped him of it.
Hamilton, his first field goal, he has 4. Nearly a steal down low. Rumeal Robinson hustles across.
There, now that's what, well, see, now Rumeal did the right thing, kept his dribble, and then picked it up and found Rice.
Good look to Rice, who has 15 points. Gill trying to answer right away. Beautiful drive and a foul. Yes, it counts.
This is just great awareness on Illinois' part. There's nothing more frustrating to a team that after they work hard to score a basket, you answered back in the space of about 5 seconds.
Lloyd Vaught returns to the lineup for Michigan, replacing Sean Higgins.
I think they're probably a little upset with the 2 shot selections by Higgins. 2 3-pointers that didn't quite get there.
Kendall Gill, 18 points, make it 19. Having an outstanding game. Pressure in the backcourt once again.
Well, and Gill, you know, was only the 4th leading scorer on his ball club through the pre-Big Ten season, but he's getting 20, got 20 a game in the first 2 ball games, and he's just on a real hot streak right now.
Ramil Robinson creates 2 points. He has 11. Illinois' lead is 6 with a little over 17 minutes left to go.
Same mistake here. Can't pick that ball up.
Yep. Anderson.
I'll tell you, you'll win 20 games a year if all you did was throw it to Anderson on the baseline. I mean, that's...
Someone may figure out how to stop that by the time you get to tournament, but of course Illinois is a lot more than just Nick Anderson. Rice off balance, nicely done.
Well, and the same thing could be said for Michigan. They'll live on that play too if they can isolate Glenn inside.
Bardo around Griffin.
Well, we haven't mentioned his name that often on offense, but he showed a little talent there on his own. It was a beautiful move.
Steve Bardo had 7 assists in the first half of play. He now has 5 points in the game.
And Bardo doesn't score much, but he can. He's just a very unselfish player who contributes in all phases of the game. He's the kind of kid, if you take him out of your lineup, you're not quite as good a team. You can't figure it out, though, because he doesn't have the stats.
Here comes Battle. For the Illini. Robinson. They're going to wave it off. Offensive basket interference.
That's a good call. That was a good call. Another great move by Ramil Robinson. Again, this takes so much strength to gather yourself and get on balance, and that ball was going in.
We'll return after these messages from your local station.
Oh, of course Fred is coming. He wouldn't miss this. Oh, he'll be here any minute. You know Fred. Where's Fred? Fred who?
Anytime you've got a problem, solve it fast. Illinois Bell's Ameritech Pages Plus, published by Donnelly Directory. Shop here and shop help.
Take a good look. Can you see braces? Hardly, because they're no metal brackets, just an almost invisible appliance that blends with your teeth. These are clear braces, which are also available at the Dental Center at Sears. Treatment can begin without a down payment, no interest charges, no payment for 90 days. Braces at the Dental Center start at $1,600 with 22 monthly payments. Clear ceramic braces start higher. Treatment must begin before the end of this month at the dental centers in 6 convenient Chicagoland Sears stores. Call for a free consultation.
And you may find yourself living in a shotgun shack. And you may find yourself in another part of the world. And you may find yourself behind the wheel of a large automobile. And you may find yourself in a beautiful...
11 minutes to play, first half. DePaul definitely slowing the pace down now. Still 30 seconds.
How did I get here?
Stay tuned to the end of today's game when we'll announce the Budweiser player of the game. And if you're a front runner, you're probably going to go with Kendall Gill, who leads Illinois with 19 points at this juncture of the game. Or if you're anticipating a return to form of Michigan, it's Glenn Rice, who has 17 points thus far. Budweiser player of the game at the end of today's telecast.
And Illinois on a run right now, and they really got the momentum, and we'll see if Michigan can answer.
Hamilton Hamilton. Anderson up high for the rebound, fighting his own teammates, left it short, gets it back, yes, and a foul!
This is what Lowell Hamilton does best. He turns that, shoots that little 12, 15-foot turnaround. He's got the athletic skills to get it off against anybody, and sometimes bulk and height aren't the key ingredient to controlling the boards. It's the quick jumping ability of the Illini to finally get it done.
They called Loy Vaught for his second personal foul. 3 team fouls on Michigan, and Anderson completes a three-point play. And Illinois enjoying by far its largest lead of the afternoon. Robinson watched by Smith.
Now's when your point guard really is important, because it's his job to get the offense set up and get the team a good shot.
Hughes on the reverse off the rebound.
Well, and that's what your role players have to give you. Eventually, you know, Griffin and Taylor and Hughes, have to come up with the basket every once in a while.
Bardo.
Well,
going to call it on the defender. Griffin did not have position.
And this is a little mismatch because Griffin just doesn't have the quickness to guard any of the Illinois players on the perimeter.
Second personal on Griffin coming up right here. Tried to get back on defense, was unable to get position. Bardo at the free throw line.
And Bardo made a good decision. Once he got that half a step, he jumped towards the basket. Now, if another defensive player had been able to step in and establish position, it would have been a charge. But that was a good call.
14:23 left to go in this game. Illinois leading Michigan now by 12. Kirk Taylor back into the lineup for Michigan, replacing Mike Griffin.
And I would think that they're probably going to have to get Higgins and Mills back in there because they lack a little bit of offensive punch right now. Additionally, as we just saw, they're getting a little beat on the boards a little bit.
Game of streaks, and Michigan's going to need a streak to get back into this one. Plenty of time. We have over 14 minutes to go, second half.
There you see this overplay, pressure defense from the Illini. Good move right there.
Hughes off the mark with the shot. Pried loose by Anderson away from Vaught. Bardo. Good look to battle. And apparently they've got a foul.
Going to be fouling Bardo for charging.
Yep.
Taylor stepped in. Again, with a 13-point lead, we've seen 4 or 5 2-on-1 situations now where Illinois either turned it over or, in that case, commits the charge.
Taylor hustles it across. Glenn Rice. Robinson. Left it short.
Michigan looks a little tired right now.
Bardo to Hamilton. Glenn Rice up high for the board. Michigan trailing by 13. The lead at Tennever. Robinson intercepted on the play by Bardo, or rather by Battle. Battle to Hamilton.
Better get a timeout. Well, and here's what caused it. Ran the fast break perfectly. Run it right down the middle of the floor. Stop at the foul line and hit the guy on the wing. He's got the best shot at going straight to the basket.
Illinois up by 15. Taylor, Loy Vaught. That quiets the crowd for a moment.
That is so sweet. I mean, that's an NBA move right there. He comes off the bench.
12:45 to go.
Well, we'll find out what Michigan's made of now.
Battle. Higgins the rebound.
We'll also find out if Illinois is smart enough now to not shoot the ball too quick and still work hard on the offensive end to get a good shot. Sometimes you get a little lackadaisical here. You start taking the lead for granted. You shoot bad shots. You look up, and Michigan's run off a 9-point run themselves.
They've run off 4 in a row. Battle trying to answer here, leaves it short. Battle in among the trees, looking for room, and 3-second violation coming up. Glenn Rice now with 6 second-half points for Michigan has brought the Wolverines back to within 11. Ramil Robinson quickly up off the bench, returns to the action.
Well, to get themselves back into the flow, you saw what Michigan did the last 2 possessions. They came down and used their height and strength advantage inside, got baskets from Vaught and Glenn Rice.
8 minutes gone by, second half. This is Sean Higgins. Offensive foul being called on Higgins.
Called him for a hook on the drive. You don't see that very often. That's a good call.
5 team fouls, second on Higgins. 11:54 left to be played here in Champaign. Right now, Illinois leads impressively. We'll be back after these commercial messages.
You know, Piedmont Airlines is making it easy for you to visit old friends, like the Crabapples. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Crabapple. Or your favorite acting teacher.
Emote, students, emote.
Or your old college buddies. Hey, guys. Piedmont presents Going Places prices. Really low fares to over 170 cities. Call Piedmont or your travel agent now. You can even visit an old Army buddy. Yo!
You know what a three-point play is in basketball. Here's what it is at Days Inns. Great rooms, great prices, and great locations. And thanks to our 130 owners throughout the Big Ten Conference, you not only get a great room at a great price, but you get pools, lounges, restaurants, even meeting rooms. So remember, great rooms, great prices, and great locations. Now that's a winning three-point play.
Wayne Larrabee and Steve Grody in Champaign, and boy, they're whooping it up in here in the Assembly Hall. They're fighting Illini leading by 11 with 11:53 left to be played. Points off turnover. Illinois 18-5 over Michigan.
Well, I think Dick Nagy said it best. He said, when you play our team, there's a very small margin for error. You must come in and play close to your best game, or this team will beat you badly.
Turnover on the part of Lowell Hamilton. Michigan trying to claw back into it, trailing 67-56.
Dick Nagy, for those who don't know, is the assistant coach for Illinois.
Higgins with a good move for 2. Lloyd Vaught has the carom. Hughes freed up. One pass too many, perhaps, and Kendall Gill intercepts. Battle on the feet of Liberty, knocked out of bounds. It'll belong to Illinois.
That pass was just a little late that time. They'd ahead 2. Higgins shot that ball with no confidence. He got up there and hesitated at the top of his jump. And anytime you do that and you think about the shot, it's always going to come up short.
Gill operating against Robinson, draws the foul. On Ramil, it's his 4th personal foul, Steve, and this is going to be that's going to have a major impact on the final 11:09 left to be played. Already up 16 fouls now on Michigan. Bill Frieder has said he's very concerned about his guard play. They have not successfully yet replaced Gary Grant, and that's very difficult to replace a player like that.
Well,
Ramil Robinson, according to Coach Frieder, is his only true guard on the roster right now, because as we mentioned before, Kirk Taylor in high school really was a small forward.
Well, Ramil Robinson replaces Gary Grant. Their problem is they don't have anybody to bring off the bench and back up Ramil, and they don't have another guard
to complement him.
Right.
Hughes on the rebound, had his pocket picked by Kenny Battle. Battle wide open for three. Gill up high on the long carom. Had his shot knocked away. Gets it back. Illinois now really starting to roll, leading by 14. Hughes in traffic. Clears to Vaught. Three-pointer by Glenn Rice. Rice now with 9 second-half points. Steve, he has 22 in the game.
Well, and that's who they have to go to now. You know, they have to look for Glenn Rice. I would say he and Vaught are the two guys that should be shooting the ball right now. That's offensive right there.
Larry Smith. We've got a foul coming up here. It's on Lowell Hamilton on a push. His third personal foul. Second on Illinois in the second half. Non-shooting affair. Michigan gets it back. And Terry Mills up off the bench back into the lineup for Michigan. Along with Kenny Bardo coming in for Larry Smith for Illinois.
Well, if this is going to be a game of spurts, Michigan better come up with one right now. They've got to go to work on the boards. They blocked out well that time for the first time in a while and got the over-the-back foul.
Gill on the steal. Here comes Liberty. Mills to Vaught, who answers in the affirmative.
Well, I guess if you're on the Michigan staff, you hope Sean Higgins just learned a lesson for the very last time. There's no reason to put that ball behind his back, and you don't do that against defensive pressure. Bring it up the floor straight.
Hamilton. 6 second-half points for Lowell Hamilton, 8 in the game. Michigan has a very tall lineup in the game. Robinson's on the bench, the point guard, with 4 personal fouls. Size against quickness, and a lot of times in basketball, quickness will win. Terry Mills converts.
But, you know, again, you should see Michigan now pounded inside with Mills, Rice, and Vaught. But again, you know, they can't leave Robinson out of the game very long, and he's up, checked in, and he'll be in on the next whistle.
Bardo around Griffin. Good look to Battle. Griffin trying to feed Mills. Battle nearly intercepted, knocked it out of play. Robinson coming back on for Michigan despite the fact that he has the 4 personal fouls. The other night at home against Minnesota, when Robinson went out of the game for like a 3 or 4 minute stretch, Minnesota went on an 11-2 run, according to Coach Frieder, and got right back in the ball game after Michigan had built a pretty hefty lead.
Well, there's no question that he is the one player they cannot. Well, he and Glenn Rice, those are 2 guys they just absolutely cannot afford to lose.
Kendall Gill created this possession. Bardo trying to finish it off. Rice clears the board for Michigan. Here comes Robinson. Nice feed to Mills.
That really was a great, because that's a tough pass to throw, that long cross-court bounce pass. And Mills did a good job of gathering himself and not committing the charge.
Illinois by 11. Battle penetrates. 16 for Ken Battle.
I tell you, that is cat-like quickness right there. Just exploded off the turn. That's just impressive, that's all.
Ramil Robinson. Michigan trailing by 13. This is Rice for 3.
That's just unreal, too. I mean,
that's his 3rd three-pointer of the game. 12 second-half points, 25 of the game for Glenn Rice. What a player.
Michigan looks like they're in a 1-3-1 zone now. At least that's how they lined up. I'm not sure what they're trying to accomplish here.
Rice knocked away the backdoor try. Here's Robinson on the drive. Beautiful move. 13 for Ramil Robinson with authority down the lane. Michigan has hit its last 6 shots. Lou Henson senses the momentum beginning to swing. Illinois' 14-point lead has been sliced to 8 with 7:27 to go. We'll return after these messages from your local stations.
Right now, your local Ford dealer is offering low 4.9% financing that'll save you hundreds on the cars and trucks you want. Get 4.9 financing or $750 cash back on rugged Ford Ranger, America's best-selling compact pickup. 4.9 financing or $400 cash back on Ford Festiva, the affordable little car that's fun to drive. And 4.9 financing or $500 cash back on Ford Escort, the world's best-selling car. See your local Ford dealer for low 4.9% financing or up to $750 cash back. But don't wait, it all ends soon.
Hear that? Big transmission problems and little transmission problems can sound a lot alike. That's one reason AAMCO gives transmissions a complete diagnostic checkup. Fact is, half of the cars serviced by AAMCO dealers don't need a new transmission. Now, how does that sound?
AAMCO, AA-MCO.
AAMCO Transmission Centers honor most new and used car extended service contracts. Take your car to AAMCO for your service contract work. See the AAMCO Transmission Center in your area.
College basketball in the Big Ten continues tomorrow. Women's college basketball. Ohio State at Iowa. I saw the Hawkeyes play here last night, and they are an impressive bunch. That's tomorrow, 4 Eastern on many of these Big Ten television network stations.
Well, I don't know if Michigan's in some type of a 1-3-1 matchup zone, or yeah, that's what it appears. They're in a 1-3-1 matchup zone.
The Illini taking their time to figure it out. 20 to go on the shot clock. Plenty of time. Good feed from Hamilton to Battle. Griffin on the block. Here comes Robinson. And Michigan has made 10 of its last 11 shots.
And that's a big play. You know, that happened so quickly, it was difficult for me to tell if there was any contact, and a foul should have been called. If it wasn't a foul, it's a great, great block.
Griffin just got the ball. Clean block.
Big play there. Big play there. It looked like it was going to be an easy 2 for Illinois, and it gets turned around.
Bardo going baseline, fumbled by Hamilton. Or I should say by Anderson.
You know, it's just funny. You never dreamt, as good as Illinois looked, you never dreamt Michigan would be able to get back in this ball game, and here we are, a chance to get within 4.
Lloyd bought, or make that from the outside. Terry Mills, and Battle retrieves the basketball.
That's not Mills' shot.
Here comes Vaught.
Boy, it looked like Vaught for a second was going to run out of steam there. That was a labored jump, and he almost tore off the front of the rim trying to get there.
Michigan has come back from 14 down. They trail by 4. Points off turnovers. Hamilton.
Oh, Battle pushed Griffin right to the ground.
18 points now for Kenny Battle. Michigan's deficit is again 6 points.
Battle really got away with that one.
Robinson penetrating. Through the foul on Bardo. Steve Bardo's second versatile foul. That's 3 on the team.
Well, I think that's always the most frustrating call for any defensive player, when you feel like you're just, you got your hands up in the air and you're just trying to hold your ground, and the offensive player forces the contact and you get whistled for the foul.
I said 2 personal fouls on Bardo. I meant to say 3. Also 3 team fouls now in Illinois. And Ramil missing his first of the line. Hamilton the rebound. Tough to miss a pair like that at this juncture when you're coming back.
Well, Illinois is in a position right now where as long as they don't make too many mistakes and take care of the ball and get good shots, they're in control of this thing. With 5 minutes to play, it's their ball game to win. So let's see how they play down the stretch.
Kendall Gill for three. The follow by Anderson.
Big play by Anderson.
Eight-point lead once again now for Illinois. The steal by Battle.
Well, the last two possessions, Illinois made the play. This is their game right now.
Anderson for a 10-point lead. 10 second-half points for Nick Anderson, 16 in the game. Timeout, Michigan. 4:03 left to go, and Illinois has spurted once again to a double-digit lead. We'll be back after these commercial messages.
Football fans, get ready for the battle of the century as unbeaten Budweiser takes on undefeated Bud Light. It's Bud versus Bud Light in Bud Bowl 1. Pick up your official scorecard wherever you see this display.
Hey, Bud, super idea. You see the neck on that guy?
Use it to follow the action and you could win. So get ready, get set. On January 22nd, Bud Bowl 1. This time, it's for real.
When the big automakers need information fast, Ameritech is there. We're there when the nation's top retailers need to transmit data. Ameritech is there for nearly 25% of the Fortune 500 companies, 450 institutions of higher learning, and 1 million businesses. Moving information for the most information-intense region of the country. When it comes to communications in the Midwest, we pull it all together. Ameritech, solutions that work.
Wayne Larrabee and Steve Grody at Assembly Hall in Champaign on the campus of Illinois. That's the story. The homestanding Illini leading by 10, 4:03 left to go. Michigan with the ball.
And Wayne, what I meant was it's Illinois' game to win. If you're a great team and you're in a big ball game and you got a 5-point lead with 5 minutes to play, you have got to make the big plays and come up with the win.
Somehow Terry Mills got that one to go. On the other hand, if you're a good team on the road and you're making your comeback, you've got to really execute down the stretch.
Oh, it's extremely tough on the road in this type of a position. To Michigan's credit, they're hanging in there and they're answering. You know, it's still an 8-point game, 3.5 minutes to play. Far from over, obviously.
Your margin of error, though, if you're coming from behind on the road, is really reduced.
No question.
Anderson, good look, Battle. Swatted out of play. Belonged to Illinois. I believe that was Mills who got up on that. Kendall Gill. Gill out of the point now with Pardo joining him in two-guard offense.
Well, the block shot gives them a new 45-second time clock, so, you know, they can really start using some time now. They're playing very aggressively offensively, and, you know, I think it appears right now that they decided to start running some clock.
Hamilton, 19 to go on the shot clock, plenty of time. Under 3 minutes to go in the game.
Now the key for Michigan is to not foul here.
Battle won't go for him. Bought the rebound. Griffin to Robinson. Rice. Hamilton the rebound. 2.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, that was probably the key shot right there. That one goes down. It can still go either way.
Now Illinois, as you mentioned, will run some clock.
And Michigan's got a matchup right now. They don't have time to let this let the shot clock run down.
Coming up on 2 minutes left to be played. Bardo on the drive through the lane, had it slapped away, and a foul call. Foul is on Rice. Steve Bardo heads to the free throw line.
Well, Michigan will get Higgins into the ball game now. Obviously, they need the three-point field goal.
Rice has 3 personal fouls, and that foul put Michigan over the foul limit. Steve Bardo at the line. There you get a look at Mike Griffin. Bardo hasn't scored a lot today, but Steve, he's done some of the other things well. He has about 10, 11 assists in this ball game, and he's pried the ball loose. He's gotten a few rebounds here and there, choice rebounds. And
well, and that's the type of player he is. Again, he doesn't have the great stats that a lot of the players do, but the coaching staff will tell you that you know, he's probably the most underrated player on their team. Extremely versatile. He can play defense at any position on the floor. And you'll remember last year when Illinois wasn't playing well, they moved him to the point guard position and started him, and they won 9 of their last 10 ball games, and that says it all.
10-point lead, under 2 minutes to go. Illinois on top. Higgins wants room from 3. Robinson going for 2 down low. Rice, and the foul on the rebound battle.
Well, obviously what Michigan's doing here is they would prefer to get one of their good shooters open on the wing to attempt a three-pointer, but you don't have too much time to waste. They judiciously decide to get it inside and go after the basket.
Nick Anderson picks up his 3rd personal foul. That is only 4 on the team with 1:39 to go in the game. Kirk Taylor replaced by Lloyd Vaught. Leaving the lineup, Lowell Hamilton for the Fighting Illini. Glenn Rice at the line. He's had an outstanding day offensively. Rice now with 26 points.
That was just their 4th team foul. So evidently they determined, even though that was a rebound, and Glenn Rice was going up for the rebound, they determined that he had possession and was actually attempting a shot because they gave him 2.
Yep. Glenn Rice makes good on a pair. Mike Griffin back into the lineup. Demetrius Caleb is in also for Michigan.
Well, no time to waste now. If you can't get a steal pretty quickly, you're going to have to give the foul.
The inbounds to Gill, and he's fouled right away by Higgins. Sean Higgins, 3rd personal. 1:39 left to go. Ramil Robinson back in. There's Lou Henson patrolling the sidelines for Illinois. His team is playing real well right now. No question about that. This is a very big win for them with 1:39 to go. They've got an 86-78 lead over Michigan. If they hang on and win this one, it's a very impressive win, even though it comes at home. It comes against a team that, you know, the critics, the skeptics have been saying Illinois doesn't have enough strength up front. They don't have enough big people. They do so many of the other things well that maybe they offset that deficiency. That may be the only real deficiency they have as a team.
Well, it's the old thing. You can measure the size of a person, but you can't measure the heart. His players always play hard. They're great athletes with their improved shooting skills. You know, they've got the ability to beat any team in the country on any given night.
1:30 to go. Higgins offers a three-pointer.
Additionally, they'll beat most teams any night of the week.
Bardo trying to keep it clear. Hamilton! Robinson trying to answer. From the outside, Lloyd Vaught connects. Did they get 3? Yep, they gave him 3. 1:05 left to be played. Illinois still in control. Back after these commercial messages.
The thing on a personal level that probably frustrates all of us, most of us, certainly myself personally, is when you hear companies using up to X% less. And you really need to do your homework before you choose intelligently. We have distance sensitivity, time of day, day of week sensitivity. Most cases, our cost differential will be small enough that the quality will more than differentiate you staying with AT&T.
You may not see me in the sports pages, but I play for one of the world's largest teams, Days Inns, the fastest growing hotel chain in the world. Our most valuable players are the 130 Days Inn owners right here in the Big Ten Conference. They'll give you a great room at a great price with restaurants, pools, lounges, even meeting rooms. When it comes to great prices and great locations, see why the professional traveler stays with us.
Wayne Larrivee and Steve Grody, the final 65 seconds. Loy Vaught off the bench is 9 of 10 from the field. He just hit a three-pointer for Michigan. Time winding down to this one, though. Demetrius Caleb commits the foul here. That's his first personal foul. Then they'll be shooting free throws. Loy Vaught off the bench with 9 second-half points. He has 22 points in the game.
Well, and I guess if you're rooting for the Wolverines, you've got the guy at the free throw line you want to see there. Larry Smith's only attempted 4 free throws on the entire season.
2 of 2 today from the line is Larry Smith. He has 4 points.
So he's 4 of 6.
Yeah.
On the year. He's 100% there, and that's what matters.
I'll tell you something. Right now, you've got to look at Illinois as the team to beat in the Big Ten, along with Iowa. Certainly Iowa, Michigan, Illinois, all in that upper echelon. Well, Ohio State trying to break into that group, and really Indiana's a team that we don't know how good they can be. They're coming along pretty quickly right now.
Well, Michigan, Illinois, and Iowa are amongst the elite teams in the country. Indiana's always going to be good, and it's so difficult to win down there. And you're right, Ohio State's trying to break in.
Loy Vaught with an air ball. Under a minute to go. Illinois is going to kill the clock here, try to. It's about a 12-second differential in the shot clock and game clock. Got a foul on Glenn Rice. His 4th personal. Stops the clock with 42 seconds to go. Kendall Gill heads to the free throw line. What a game he's had. 24 points.
He's also contributed 4 steals after getting 5 just the other night against Wisconsin. Been the outstanding player in the ball game for Illinois. And again, as you know, as we look at and evaluate the Michigan team, this is a great ball club. But again, they do have a problem they need to solve at the guard spot. Rumeal Robinson is a great player, but he's going to tire if he has to do all the work of running the ball club and bringing it down the floor the entire ball game.
Kendall Gill with his 2nd upcoming. Impressive win here for Illinois. 2nd-ranked team in the country against 6th-ranked Michigan. We'll be back for the final seconds after these commercial messages.
The multiple-port fuel-injected Ford Escort GT. Because what's rock without roll?
You're looking sharp, you're looking good, you've come so far, and we know how to make the most of who you are. Where the race is run, you're the
Gillette Atra Plus system with the Lubra Smooth strip for the best a man can get.
Today's Budweiser player of the game is Kendall Gill of Illinois. Outstanding ball game, 26 points and 4 steals. Congratulations to Kendall Gill, today's Budweiser player of the game. Glenn Rice with a 3-point try. Battle fighting for the rebound. Small keeps it alive. Rice flips it back out front. Robinson for 3. No. Bardo takes the back tap, is on the run, and he was fouled. Kirk Taylor reaching out and grabbing him. Third personal on Taylor, and it stops the clock with 25 seconds to go. Illinois leading by 13. 1 point to make about Michigan, and you just said it, and Bill Prater said it before the game. We've got problems at guard. If you come in here and go up against a team like Illinois with your guard position questionable, you're going to have big trouble.
Oh, you will. You have to have 2 or 3 different people who can take the load off and bring the ball down the floor. And see, what you might want to do is you come in here and you say, okay, well, we'll have one of our forwards bring the ball down the floor and give our guards a rest. But because Illinois is so versatile and they can guard people at every position, they'll have their guards guard your forward when he brings it down. So there's no getting away from it. You've got to come in here capable, ready, and willing to handle defensive pressure, bring the ball down the floor.
Bardo 6 of 6 at the line. Makes good on 2 more. Up off the bench, several substitutions for Lou Henson and company. Brian O'Connell, number 32, comes into the game, replacing Bardo. P.J. Bowman, Brian O'Connell, Marcus Liberty in the ball game, along with Mike McDonald and Irvin Small for Illinois. Final 24 seconds. Rice for 3. Glenn Rice now with 30 points. 20 seconds remaining. And a timeout called by Michigan. 96-84. Illinois leading Michigan. The Fighting Illini will go to 15-0. 3-0 in Big Ten play. They rank second in the nation. Michigan 14-2 overall. Now 2-1 of the conference. 6th ranked in the nation. Today's game has been brought to you by U.S. Air. U.S. Air warms up your winter with flights to Arizona, Florida, and California. By Ford and your local Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. Our executive producer is Peter Rowe. Today's game was produced by Kent Samuels and directed by Roy Alfers. Our technical director was Jerry Gerard, and our associate director, Susie Evans. Special thanks to both the Michigan and Illinois Sports Information Departments, to Coach Bill Prater of Michigan and Lou Henson of Illinois and their staffs for the help they provided us in covering this game today. On the inbounds, a foul right away stops the clock with 19 seconds to go.
Well, the crowd doesn't like the timeout with 20 seconds or the foul, and I agree with them. I mean, there's no way Michigan can win this ball game.
Sean Higgins with personal foul number 4. Rice 30 points, Vaught 22 points here. Gill 26 and Battle 18. Gill and Battle lead Illinois. Rice and Vaught lead Coach Prater's Michigan squad.
You know, Michigan now is, you know, they've got to bounce back from a big loss. They've got, they will have played 3 games in 5 days, and you know, you have to go on from here. It'll be interesting to see if Illinois bounces back and can come up with another big effort after a game where they were very emotionally involved.
Higgins off the mark, and the rebound by Marcus Liberty. Time winding down in this one. Liberty to pad the stats. And that is it. Number 2 has confronted number 6. And on this day, number 2 the better by 12 points. Lou Henson's Fighting Illini now 15-0 overall. Once again, the final score, Illinois 96, Michigan 84. For Steve Grody, this is Wayne Larrabee saying so long from Assembly Hall. Don't forget, coming up on Wednesday, Purdue at Minnesota on many of these Big Ten Conference Network stations. 8 o'clock Eastern. Don't forget, tomorrow, a special edition women's basketball to the Big Ten Network on many of these stations. Starting at 4 Eastern, Iowa plays host to Ohio State. This has been a copyrighted presentation of Big Ten Productions in conjunction with Raycom Sports and Entertainment.
A striking abstract in a modern frame, a rich hunt scene framed in solid oak, or an impressionistic scene
In just 1 hour.